Just says upcoming. Oh, now it says live. Turn them up. Okay, we should be ready.
All right, let's go ahead and start our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I take it everyone had a chance to read the previous minutes from July 9th. Any additions or corrections to them?
I make a motion that we accept the minutes from July 9th,
Do I have a second?
July
11th. He said,
Well, it's got 9th on there.
11th. I second that.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
aye.
Aye. Minutes pass.
Okay, the minutes do say July 11th.
Is it the 11th or?
It's the 11th.
Okay.
All right. Move on to old business. Fire grant contract 2025 new proposal and brush truck.
Here was I sent to you all of the latest response from the city to us with what they say they were going to require from us for the 2025 contract. They were asking for the contract to be $180,000. The city would agree to modernize the brush truck with the funds, with their funds, of that 180. They will own the new brush truck and return the 1990 truck frame and cab to us. And then they're also asking us to commit to 2026 for $180,000 as well. So that's their new proposal to us.
So Randy, on the brush truck, that probably is the main, it's mainly used in the township,
Mm-hmm.
I would think.
Yes,
That's where.
they might use it in the city for a few, like grass fires if there's some in the city or something, but you're right. It was to be able to get out to equipment in fields and stuff and, tight areas that they can't deal with.
So go ahead, Angie.
So I just feel that that's something that needs to be owned by the township with being primarily used. And then also have a concern that will it be sustained? Will they decide to possibly sell the brush truck later if there's not a lot of need for it, but even though it's been wet this summer, who's to say next summer we won't have a drought and there'll be an increase
Yeah.
in fires.
Mhm.
So that's my concern.
I agree with that. It's something that's going to be used specifically not specifically, mostly in the township, as you said, then it just seems to me like that ownership to us makes more sense.
Right.
For us to continue to own a brush truck rather than the city own it.
Yeah, it seems to me like, the options are either we buy it, or if they buy it, maybe they transfer that back to us, so then we still technically own it if we're paying that, say, $180,000
Mm-hmm.
for this year. Cash flow wise, not the same. Actually, I believe, are they putting it on an old truck?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's gonna be on a used truck that they would put it on.
So, kind of my preference would be that we still own it, even if they put it onto their.
Well, we could propose that they would go ahead and switch it to their vehicle and title that vehicle back over to us. They wouldn't have much money in it. And then we'd have to have a time constraint where they'd have it done by, say, the end of 25, have that all done and stuff. Because that way we get out of the brush truck use and out of that part of the season.
Okay, so they would go ahead and they would still receive our $180,000,
Mm-hmm.
which goes into their general fund. So they're getting that cash flow they have been expecting from us.
Mhm.
But then we go ahead and let them use those funds to update that truck, but then we ask it to, would you say, to be titled to us.
Right. They would finish all that, complete it, then the truck would be titled over to us.
And then doing that, because if then it becomes our truck, then we still maintain the ownership, then we would maintain the ownership.
We
rather
still have
than them,
ownership,
as it
and
says.
once they're done, our old brush truck, the Ford F-350 would, once it's stripped down, it's still our property, it's still
Mhm.
titled, so that would come back to us to sell later.
To sell. Okay, so then with us having the new ownership of that truck,
Mhm.
of the truck that had been changed over, then we would have the right to make all the decisions on that, future
Mhm.
sale of it, or even if we
Right.
chose to upgrade it or do something else
Right.
with it later. Because I don't think we know what year that truck is, do we?
No,
Okay,
I'm not sure.
so if we still wanted to sometime go ahead and, not next year, obviously, or this year, we'll be doing it instead, but upgrade to a much newer truck, we would have the opportunity to do that, because
Right.
yes, okay. You guys had previously voted to purchase a brand new truck from Fleetwood Chevrolet, so that, that particular truck has sold, but I did get quotes from them for a new one, which is very, very close to the same amount. And then also I got new quotes from Huber Ford, but we won't worry about that today because we're hoping that maybe that
If
we'll
they-
be able to go this route.
Right. Then you
Yeah.
said the rest of that, they had proposed also that it's a 2-year contract. I don't agree with that. Let's say we just do this year's contract and we can kind of project what we might be given for them minimum or something that for 26,
Okay.
but we're not gonna sign another contract.
I think, I can appreciate what I was hearing from them was, hey, we need to budget, we need to kind of know what you're gonna do. We could have some amount that we feel comfortable with,
Mhm.
that based on current situation, where we are with the trustee, all, or taxation and all, Senate Bill 1 and everything, not 180,000, that, do we want to do like 120,000, that, hey, we'll guarantee that we'll do 120, but then we may increase that when we, get a final contract for next year,
Mhm.
that we need to wait and kind of see how things are kind of settling out and how the rest of this works out for us.
Right,
So you'd be giving them a figure, but say it could possibly be more.
It
but
could
won't
be more, it'd be
less.
a minimum.
It'd be a minimum.
That way they can do some budgeting with some confidence. And,
Right.
It's not like we're gonna completely abandon them. but-
Right.
And I'm open to some other number, if somebody thinks it should be something. I heard what they were saying. We're no different than you. We want to know what kind of income we got.
Absolutely. sense.
Yeah. I don't think any of us disagreed with that. We understood
right,
that.
right.
Our biggest hesitation with that was that, even though that was part of the contract, or that really wasn't part of the contract, that was just a proposal we had given them that we were gonna put in our budget. But we just felt like the contract had changed on their end, so this was our response to that.
Right.
And I guess you would say it'd be a continued response next year until we see them having more trucks, more fire trucks again.
Right, and not ours out as a first out,
Mhm.
truck for the city.
So when they have their new one by I think it's supposed to be in 2027. So if we have one more year of 2026 with like the lower amount, while they're still using our equipment more, then by 27, we could look at it again as once they have adequate equipment. And I know adequate's is in the contract, is that word. They provide adequate coverage, and the definition of that probably is up to everybody's own interpretation. So we
We
would
may have
just.
to redefine that a little bit.
Yeah, so we could just look at that saying, what we think is adequate, and maybe 1, we don't feel is, but 2 would be, we'd be comfortable, I would be.
Yeah.
Comfortable at 2.
What's your thoughts on the minimum amount for next year?
I feel maybe 120,000 is maybe a little on the lower end.
I know we had been like at 140. We could go.
We can just, I think 140 would be minimum.
Okay. That way it would be.
I would be fine with 140.
Okay.
Okay,
So how about I'll make a motion that we have a contract with them for next year or for this year for $180,000. That they're going to upgrade the brush truck and then title that back to us once that's completed, and ask that that be completed by the end of December.
Mhm.
And then that we would have a minimum amount for next year of $140,000. You know, that it might be higher, but, you know, that's at least from a budgeting standpoint, they can have something they know that we're going to do for them.
Mhm.
I second that. I think it's good.
All right. All in favor of that proposal?
Aye.
Aye. Motion passed. And you'll have Laura redraw that up then.
Yes, we'll need to, get with Laura Williams to put all that into the contract again, and we'll send it back to the city for their next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll have to get with each of you to sign it.
Okay.
Before we send it to
Okay.
them.
That'd be
I
mine.
can do that, okay.
All right. Good, all right. Let's move on to the cemetery quote.
Okay, so last month we had two different vendors that we received quotes for asphalt and concrete work at Springer and Sand Creek cemeteries, and we discussed the amount of concrete and asked him to give us a new quote, so, I have that. His new quote then for you guys to look at. Sorry, it is, this one's 7.9, okay, I think it's on my desk, 1 second, sorry. Can you come back to that one in a minute?
Okay. All right, let's move on. Participation in the National Night Out on August 14th.
I'm planning to be there.
I'll be there.
It starts at,
What was the start time on that?
Five.
5?
5 to
We have the,
8 p.m.
we got a, email from the organizers, and they said we could start setting up anytime after noon. And they'd like for us to be ready to go at 4:45.
4:45.
Okay.
And I have all the boards and everything finished.
As far as any equipment, like we're gonna set up a pop-up tent or anything to cover, do we have that?
So I think you had mentioned you had a.
I have
a
one, I can
tent,
bring it.
And Bev's got tables.
Okay.
And I've got presentation boards that we can put up.
Right.
And then we
Okay.
have those safety tools to hand out. And then we also have those fire blankets for door prizes. And I have all that ready.
Thanks, Lord.
Thank you.
Thanks, Lori. So as far as the setup, Lori, do you need any help setting up?
If we get the tent up and the tables, we probably,
Were you bringing the tent? Did you
I
just
can
say
bring
that?
it.
Sorry, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll bring it.
So if you could bring that and get it set up, then we'll just have two tables and our boxes to give away and our things. So I think we can do it. If Randy comes and helps us, if you want to be there, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. It won't be too much.
All right. Then,
Yeah.
anything else on that we need to help with, or is that just for all that?
Yeah, when we get done, we'll just take our tables down and come home. So
Okay.
we're excited about that, just being out in the community another time, face
Hopefully the
learning
weather will-
overseas.
Yeah,
I
hopefully
know,
weather,
yeah, it's gonna be
yes,
great,
yeah.
yeah. And I don't know if they cancel it, if it's really bad weather or not,
Yeah, I would think it would or something. So,
because they're my public safety.
Yeah.
So,
all right. Okay, any more discussion on that? All right, let's go back up to the cemetery quote.
Okay, and sorry, I did have it here. He just had not changed the date on it because it said July 9th, so that kind of threw me for a second. His other quote was $6,300 and this one is $7,098. So, Cause I thought it did say the 5-inch pad on there,
So it's
so.
And
20 by 24 concrete, parking lot, cutout, gravel base, form, floor, backfill, hull, main dirt out 4-inch bed, not bad,
Mhm.
with wire mesh.
wire mesh, okay, yeah,
Yes,
So, yeah,
and
that's
he'll
what
probably
we talked about.
cut control joints and I imagine
Yeah.
after he's done.
he said that on the,
Yeah.
yeah, when we
Yeah.
talked to him
Yeah.
before, during the meeting.
What was
So-
that proposal amount?
Yeah, and that's still lower than the other one we had.
$7,098.14.
Okay.
Yes, so, sorry about that, guys, yeah,
I'll make
it
a
just threw me for a
Well,
loop.
What's the
motion.
company's name?
It is TEK Seal Coating.
I'll make a motion that we approve the bid from TEK Seal Coating LLC for $7,098.14. Put in the pad.
As well as the seal coating at St.
At St. Creek.
Mhm.
Good.
Yeah.
I second that motion.
We have a second. All in favors?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Motion passes.
I'll contact him and get that work done. Thank you, guys. Wanted to get that accomplished.
Okay, next on the old business, 2026 budget.
Yay.
You want me to pull up the spreadsheet? here?
Oh, yes.
So we can kind of look
There
at
it
it. So
is, here to
you
see.
can look at the budget, so just kind of, we've got the fund name over here on the side, and then the category, subcategory, line code, and the line item description. The 26 amount is here, the 25 amount, this is what we put into the budget for last year, what we approved.
Mhm.
And then this is the difference, so you can kind of easily see there in column views the difference. Our current amount is over here on this far side, there's also the 2024 actual and the 2024 amount. So like, when you go down here to the very bottom, you got your different funds, your general, you got your, the township fund, the township assistance fund, you've got the township fire fund, and then the Cume Fire Fund. So like in 2024, what we proposed to put in the budget was 732, we spent 649, was the actual
Okay.
dollars out. So, you always come in a little bit underneath on that. And then last year, the 2025 budget was 745, and we'll have to work on what our total for the year is going to project out to be. And then the 2026 amount here is actually down just a little bit in total. Bev, do you want to talk to anything in specifics as we're,
Sure, I can.
kind of, because this has the totals and I can kind of scroll down this week.
Okay, sure. So trustee salary staying the same, clerical salaries going up with just a 3% increase for our clerk, and then adding a little bit in case we have any extra training for someone next year. The other thing, most of the things in the administrative part, at least of this general fund, are pretty set by what we know the actual expenses are. Our utilities, our office supplies, our rent, the office bonds, insurance, most of those things are gonna be stable. So all of our financial consultant fees, we already know those amounts, they're, going to be the same, or if just a little bit more than they are this year.
Our rent, is it going to stay the same next year or is it going up?
So it is going up next year, but if you
Okay.
look in the 25 budget, it says 10,000, you're on the very bottom line right now, Jim, so you're right in the middle there, you're good. On the let's see, it's 21. Line 21, okay. So in 24, it was 9,000. He had told us he was gonna raise it in 25, so we put 10,440. However, he didn't, he left it at 9.
Okay.
So we really didn't have to, and then when you look at the 25 current OVIX, it's actually 9,140. The 240 is our mailbox fee here. So for 26, the budget's not an increase, but we actually an actual will be an increase because he is going to.
He's going up.
He's
Okay.
going up this time, yeah. So give us another year at the lower rate. Mowing and maintenance, I took that down a little in the cemetery, just because John Hughes, who's doing is giving us indication he's not gonna be, much different than he has been. And it still gives us, with the extra, after we pay him and that mowing and maintenance, And then the cemetery improvement still gives us about $9,000 to do anything that we need to in the cemeteries next year. So we're still okay there, I think, by lowering that. The township assistance, we did raise that a little from, it's actually it's the same. If you look at that line 27 there, it says township assistance. Click on 27, line 27, Jim. Okay. So it is 40,000 down from 42. However, go down to the next fund, line 32, or 31, yeah. We only had 5,000 in township assistance, but I'm asking for 7 in it. So it's just a different place where the tax comes from. That's the township assistance levy. We have just a little bit. We're starting to get that back again. We used to not have it
Right.
in the first year that we were all here. So we're slowly getting some of that back. So really our township assistance funds all over is going to be the same. And we should be fine there. So in the fire contract, I did put 160 just as a number to shoot for, but you guys just approved.
We approved 140.
So what do you want to put there then?
Well, we could leave it at 160 and see what I don't know if that might get lowered by any means.
Okay.
I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes the state comes in and like, oh, well, we're not.
Yeah. Yeah.
not gonna
Depends
do
on what we get, sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we'll leave it at that. Okay, so then the other things there, the truck insurance, I did up that, it's up 2,000 because if we do happen to have a new truck, then it would be a significant raise in the
Mhm.
insurance on that truck. Our current rate that we paid on the brush truck now, I did get the breakdown from the city over, when we paid the 55.37, you can see the actual amount this year, we paid the truck insurance. They broke that down for me, and only 120 of it or so was the brush truck.
Brush truck.
So, but that'll change, of course, if we have a new truck, so I upped that a little bit in case we have a new one. The attorney fees, not a big deal there, the truck repairs and fire equipment repairs left in the same. Other expenses took that down a little bit too, just in trying to conserve as the state has asked us to. Firefighting equipment then, look at that line, it's going up 46,000, but we're keeping that in comparison with, line 43, the Cume Fire. So we still have next year 2 payments on the fire trucks and then we will be done. So we should only expect about 80,000 in revenue in Cume Fire for next year. So that's all I put in the budget. But our fire truck payments are going to be 255,000. So we're putting the rest of that up into line 40. Okay, so, and that will still leave us with, let's see, 255. It still leave us, go ahead,
Yeah, so that's 330,000 total between those two. So we have to pay out
255.
255, so it should leave 75,000, which we need to start building up our King Fire fund
Mhm.
Yep.
for the next truck that we have to buy at some point in time in the future.
And we won't be able to get that in Cume Fire. 80's pretty much, I mean, that's, we may get a little bit more than that, but that's at the cap, the levy's already at cap amount, and we
Right.
just won't get any
You
more
won't
than
get-
that.
it
We
won't-
only got 85, let's see, no, in the current, we got 89,000 this year, it was about 88,000, so, because we had a little bit left in the fund. So, our fund is currently zero, remember in that, so. So we're gonna have to start saving basically in township fire instead of Cume Fire.
Yeah, time we end up buying a new pumper down the road, it's gonna be way over $1 million.
Yeah, so that's really the gist of that. The fire still balances out pretty much the same, it's just in a different line. After a different fund.
Any questions on that? And
Right?
again, our process is we've got it down there for our dates. So September 23rd is where we actually have the public hearing for the budget. She has to have it, you've got to get it entered by the end of the month, right?
We have to have it entered by the end of this month, yes, and then it will advertise it.
And then
Yeah, okay.
October 14th will be the public hearing. Or no, excuse me, October 14th is not the public hearing.
That's
That's
the
the voting
voting.
for the budget. Will be that time. So,
Okay.
So yeah, I would need you guys to just let me know. I mean, you're not approving this, you're just saying, do we want to
Yeah.
change anything
Right,
today?
So we're
Yeah.
not voting on it tonight. What we're doing is providing input. there's
We-
anything that we should change on. So,
And you even have time, if you have, think about that in the next few days too, and you have some questions about them, just let me know, because we have time to change them.
this has kind of where our balances are on our various funds. You know, this is January 1, 24, and then where we were December 31 of 24. And then this receipts number that we had estimated should be pretty accurate. This is where disbursements that
Will we? Okay.
Bev's going to be working on getting this detail, so then we have a good estimate on where our ending balances are going to be, and then of course that ties in a little bit with our capital.
Because column H only basically has through July right now.
Yeah.
And then in column, let's see, where's our current fund balance?
Current. Well, this is our 12/31 number
Mhm.
was here, but, you know, like right now, we got like 1,180,000, you said, with the trust.
In Trust Indiana.
Indiana, and, you know, depending on what we end up with the city, that's gonna drop down to about 1 million, so.
But all of that's not in fire, so that's why you look at, yeah,
Mhm.
and what our current balance is, it'd be column I.
Yeah, and that,
Nine
this
seventy,
doesn't, but this has our projected receipts for the year, and you haven't gotten everything yet.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, we get monthly, about 12,000 monthly, and then we get the one large property tax settlement in June, and we get another one in December.
December.
It's usually a little smaller, probably maybe because people pay, some who pay both property taxes in the spring,
So,
But out of these numbers, remember, the largest thing we still have to pay is the fire contract. So
Right.
that's gonna be a big chunk coming out of our fire fund yet this year. The truck payments are both already finished.
For this year.
For this year.
Okay.
the
Contract amounts.
Cume fire is here, and I say it's down to 30. Gonna be, that's already fixed, there's not gonna be any more coming out, so we only have 30,000 left in that. So we're gonna get 80 next year, so, you know, that number is gonna be about, 100,000 that we'll have the end of 26. And
Right.
then hopefully we can start growing that back up.
Right.
So, okay, any other feedback? It's your
So
show.
actually, Jim, let me go back to that again for a second.
Yeah.
So the Cume Fire Fund today is actually zero, because
Oh, okay.
you're seeing the estimated 25 receipts there, because that, we don't have all of that yet.
You're still anticipating that as a,
Yes,
okay.
that's what the
30
statement says.
That's what we'll end up at the end of the year.
Yeah.
30,000 is where we will be.
Is an
Mhm.
estimate of what we're gonna get in December.
Okay.
Yes. So, but today it's zero.
Yeah.
And then, that'll stay there until January, and we will use it to pay part of our January payment.
Okay.
So, okay. Do you have any other comments on the budget or input for Bev before she pulls the
Yeah.
trigger and plugs it in?
Yeah,
So,
I think that's all I have for you guys.
All right. Any other old business? you come up with? In this case?
I'm good.
Okay, all right. Then we'll move on to new business,
And it's,
capital improvement plan.
and it's possibly old business, because I think we mentioned it last month, but we really haven't done anything with it. So, the state has given us the deadline of September 30th. We must present that capital improvement plan that will cover all of the fund balances that we have at the end of the year. We have to tell the state what we plan to do with it, why we have that much money and what we're gonna do with it. The plan must include even the restricted funds, even though they can't take them. We still have to say why we're accumulating them, what we have in mind for those funds. Any township who does not complete a capital improvement plan will get 0 tax levies next year across the board. So they're being pretty serious about it, which is, it's,
Ouch.
yeah, it could be ouch for someone who really doesn't get it done. So I'm going to help try to make sure that at least all of our counties get them done. So,
Yeah.
our townships, but we will get those numbers inserted into the column that Jim had for the 25 estimated, because we'll need to do that. It basically asks us to do the 25 estimated revenue, and I was advised from the DLGF to just use our 20 obviously our 26 estimated revenue, just to use it as the same as 25. But we are estimating down to our 25 expenses, what we plan in the year, so.
Yeah, and I can set that up, Deb, so I don't have it right now, but whatever we have in here for our 26 amount, we can pull into the disbursement column here
Oh, okay,
and have that already coded, and then your receipts automatically that, that, I thought I had, but yeah, I've got this right here, so if you plug into the receipts over here for 26, whatever you estimate, it'll pull that in, so that'll tell us what our projected
Okay.
year-end balance.
go back to your full sheet and you can unhide the columns so they can see where you've got those.
So, let me go back here. So, let me go to here, and then I can unhide. So you can see there's, like, this is the additional amount, so she would plug that in, kind of what she projects for the rest of the year. And then that, whatever number she plugs in over here, so she puts in 22,000 here, and that changes this number here to 53,730. So it'll automatically pull through, and then whatever numbers are in here, like that 121 number that shows right there, if you go over here, that's that number right there.
Mhm.
So it all pulls together,
Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's great.
so that way you don't have to like re-enter numbers. So,
Yeah. So we'll get all those, we'll have to get that done first with finish our estimates, and then those are the numbers that we'll need to use on our capital improvement plan, and we'll get
so
that.
will we review that then in next?
You do have to approve it, yes, so we will have it
next,
done.
the September meeting.
We'll have to approve.
We'll have to
plan.
approve it,
Right.
yes, in September.
So
So we'll get it to you before
we'll
then.
dig in, and I'll help her with making sure we got everything balanced out.
Yeah.
So,
And then just think of, what we're going to use it on. As far as our general fund and our rainy day, there really isn't going to be that much in there. I think it'll be pretty easy with just our regular, administrative things that we have. We can prove why we need that. It's going to be maybe $100,000 that we'll look at. The fire is going to be bigger, of course, because we're trying to, save for the next set of fire trucks.
Yep.
But we'll just say that on there, that's that we can prove that. But I also have asked Chief Sturmer to give me a list I'm to give him a dollar amount, and then he's been helping me come up with a list of things that would be nice possibly for us to buy over the next couple of years for them, if we had the funds to do that. So we could put that in the capital improvement plan.
Right.
As of right now, we are being directed to do it. There hasn't been any firm and fast, hard set rules that you
Big
have to
rules.
do exactly what you say you're going to do, but at least you have to have a plan.
Right.
So, and we would create a plan that really we had in mind. We're not going to just make it up. We'll really do something that we think is feasible and that we really would be planning on doing. So,
All right.
if you have any thoughts about that, how you'd like to spend money in the next couple of years, let me know. We'll make sure we put that in there.
We're good?
All right. Any other new business? Cool. Nothing? Okay. Sounds good. Since we don't have that, I think we've completed everything in the old new business then. So,
Make a motion. Go right ahead.
I make a motion that we adjourn the meeting.
all right.
I'll second that.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.